afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Queen's Club for the final time for this 2024 British Amateur. This is the singles final. We have an excellent match lined up for you this afternoon. My name is Ben Gatenbeek, and I look forward to talking you through the match as it progresses. We have seen some excellent tennis this week, notably in the doubles final, which was held yesterday afternoon, which saw some new winners adding their name to the honours board in the form of James Medlow and Max Truman. There will not to be any new names on the honours board today. We have one defending champion on court, and the other player is a 5-time champion of this event. So definitely some seasoned veterans of the amateur circuit. We will get to player introductions briefly. Good to see a crowd developing in the dead-on and online wherever you happen to be joining us around the real tennis world this afternoon. So the players are just involved in their knock-ups. What promises to be an excellent match of styles. Two very opposing styles that we'll see on court today. Plenty of questions that follow immediately from that, which we will get into as the match progresses. But introducing the players now. Currently at the service end, we have Robert Shenkman, currently playing out of Manchester, world ranked number 11. He'll be looking to improve that world ranking as he heads over to the US Open next week. Some great matches there, and really that's 9, 10, 11 in the world right up for grabs. Shenkman won this tournament last year. He's the defending champion. That was his first victory in the tournament, and did battle with his opponent today, Jamie Douglas, in the final of that MCC gold racket, winning the silver racket in the process. And the recent matches for Shenkman leading into this tournament: British Open made the quarterfinal stage, losing to Nick Howell. He's going to play the US Open next week, first round match against Rob Fay, which again I suspect we might talk more about as the match progresses. His path to the final today, he played his quarterfinal against Will Flynn, won that 3-6, 6-2, 6-2, 6-love, in a match that was fairly shaky to begin with and fairly dominant by the end, and then completely wiped the floor with Jamie Giddens in his semi-final, winning that match 6-love, 6-2, 6-2, and that was a very dominant display from Rob Shenkman. His opponent today is someone we have seen on the amateur circuit for a very long time. Is Jamie Giddens, currently playing off a scratch handicap out of Lords, where he moved to after he finished in Cambridge. He has won this tournament on 5 occasions, starting way back in 2009, and that MCC Gold Racket Championship has dominated that particular amateur event also since 2009, only dropping a couple of occasions, but that is a very impressive record, and he will look to be defending that again later in the year. Recent matches for Jamie Douglas, again that gold racket final against today's opponent Rob Shenkman, and a few matches in the Paul Roger Trophy, including a shot loss to Will Flynn down at Seacourt. And lastly, the head-to-head between these two. 4 matches total.
Right,
Most recently in that gold racket final.
Of the Northern Open. The British Amateur Singles Championships 2024. Serving, we have Rob Shenkman, and receiving, we have Jamie Douglas.
Our marker today is Queen's Club head professional Ben Ronaldson, who'll be marking from the net for the duration of this match. So we just bring up that head-to-head again while we can. Most recently that match, 5 sets in the gold racket final, finishing 6-5. What a match that was back in July.
Right, first set, Lovell.
In any case, we are underway now. Let's see how this match develops.
15 up. Well. Chase, 4 and 5, 15 up. Well. $30. 15-30.
And a very long point here early in the match.
30 all.
I think we'll discuss shortly. Those longer points tend to be preferred by Shenkman over Douglas.
And Chase better than the yard. 2 chases, 30 all.
Yeah, so Shenkman's style tends to prefer to play these longer rallies, really pushing his opponent into the corners as much as he possibly can. Doesn't have big shots.
30 all the first chase. It's 4 and 5.
But will just work and work and work on his opponent. Whereas Jamie tends to prefer to end the points just a little bit quicker.
$40-30, chase.
So Jamie
better than a yard.
will look 10 points quicker, whether that means hitting those targets. That main wall of force we saw to great effect against Rory Giddens in the semi-final, or whether that's by applying severe cut to the ball. That was a short chase, and it's not common that we'll see Shenkman really try and rip that force in. He does manage it successfully to draw the error.
Advantage. Chase a yard better than the second gallery, advantage.
So yeah, it will be something that we'll watch over the course of the match, is just how are the points ending quickly? Is that favouring Jamie Douglas, or are the points going on and
Advantage,
on and on,
Chase a yard better than the second gallery.
which favours Rob Shenkman. So a yard better than the second is the chase.
Oh.
Still in the first game of the match.
And that's the first game, 1-love.
So Jamie finds that last gallery, only gallery that would win that chase, and takes the first game of the match.
Chase the second gallery, no strips.
You can see already just the sheer amount of cut that Douglas is getting from the ball.
And the door, 2 chases, no strips.
So he comes down the back of the ball very hard, very fast. More of the racket speed is in that downwards motion than a forwards motion. Just trying to get that backspin on the ball.
No strips, chase the second gallery.
Whereas Shenkman will just try and push the ball. He doesn't get quite as much of that pure downwards motion on it.
Love, chase the door.
So Douglas there putting the ball into the hazard galleries. That wins the chase. Chase was the door.
Not up. Chase worse than 2. 15-all.
One thing that I don't think we'll see much over the course of this match is a huge variety in serving. Both players have 2 to 3 serves that they go to for most of their points. So we'll see plenty of those underarm twists, a few bobbles, some railroads on some hazard chases. It's not anything too imaginative or inventful. Just do the simple serves well is the tactic. So we'll just watch the point from moments ago. That ball, Shenkman playing in the air. He tends to play that ball in the air quite well.
40-30 receiver leads, chase worse than 2.
Just sits up a bit, put a bit of pace on it. It can put him under pressure sometimes. So yeah, worse than 2 chase here.
Oh.
There's a great cut volley from Jamie Douglas, really attacking that ball. Getting a really good length on that first bounce. Shenkman had to play it before the back wall.
Chase the last gallery, no strokes. $15 love.
And that there is a shot that Douglas likes to play. Put Shenkman under pressure early in the point, and as soon as there is an opening free, just attack it as hard as you can.
And chase better than a yard, 2 chases.
I mentioned in the semi-final that Douglas played against Rory Giddens. His technique reminds me
15
a
love
lot
server.
of Chris Chapman.
First chase is the last gallery.
Just the way he uses that power into the ball and hits down the back of it.
Lost the chase.
That one has just tipped the second
30
gallery
love,
post.
chase better than a yard.
That counts as being in the gallery.
40 love.
And that one also loses the chase. Chase was better than a yard. Has to hit that dead on at the back of the court for that particular point.
$15.40. Chase.
Jamie was threatening to hit that grill on a number of occasions in that particular rally. Couldn't quite get it in the end. As Shenkman places the ball into the line gallery. Sorry, the first gallery.
15.40. Receiver leads, chase the first gallery.
So again, Shenkman has to keep tight onto that left-hand wall. Can't expose any of the galleries in this point, but so does Douglas. It is a
One fault.
and hitting anything into those hazard galleries also wins the point. And he can't quite find them. He's looking for those hazard galleries.
3 games to love. First set.
And it does not work out. Look at those service points won at the moment. Just 13% so far for Shenkman.
15 love.
He will need to improve that over the course of the match. So far this match, it is looking all like Jamie Douglas. Once again, as we see, the point goes longer and longer. The point goes longer and longer. It favours Shenkman. Douglas not far away on several occasions in that point of finding an opening.
30 all. worse than the last gallery. 30 all.
So Jamie Douglas not afraid to be winding up that main wall force so far. At the moment, Giddens is just praying that it doesn't go in.
40-30 chase, worse than the last gallery.
Hasn't really found an effective counter to it yet. Whether that comes from better serving or, just we see that grill go in, better serving or finding that volley defense of the dead on, which he does have in his arsenal. But for the moment, looks like it is, the way the match is progressing is favouring Douglas.
Chase, worse than the last gallery.
So worse than last gallery chase here.
Juice.
I think Douglas was assuming that ball was going to go a little bit wider. He just got a little bit too close to it in the end. That's why he framed that particular volley.
Not up. Chase, better than 5.
So
Got it.
that ball called not up by the marker. Ben Ronaldson, head professional Queen's Club,
Advantage.
in the marker's box. As Shenkman finds his first dead on of the match.
It's right, no, honestly, don't worry. It's fine.
Just a few words exchanged. Shenkman's
I mean, it happens.
worried that Douglas is putting him off during the serve. The etiquette in real tennis is you are meant to stay quiet
Advantage.
during the point, especially in singles and doubles. It's a bit more okay because you can say yours
Server
or
leads.
mine
Chase,
or
better
whatever.
than 5.
But we don't do that excessive grunting that you see sometimes over on the lawn tennis circuit. So better than 5 chase.
Gain 1 game to 3.
So Shenkman is on the board for the first time in this match. That was
15 love.
a very excellent defence of the dead on, but how sustainable will that be over 5 sets? We are yet to see. Just
Full.
starting to find that range a little bit now. Shenkman is looking a little bit better in the rally.
love. Chase worse than a yard, 30 love.
Douglas seemingly happy to play that shot from anywhere at the moment. The big question of this match is how does Shenkman deal with that particular shot? how does Shenkman deal with that defense of the dead-on? Can he sustain that particular shot for the entire match? It's really the only question that's being asked this afternoon. Because as we saw in that last rally, as the rally progresses and it gets further and further into it, Shenkman just able to wrestle control of it.
40-15, chase worse than a
all
yard.
that pressure. So worse than a yard chase now.
Chase off.
That ball called chase off, fell worse than a yard.
Game 2 games to 3. $15 left. As at the second gallery, 50. I'll get it.
Douglas was looking for that winning gallery there, couldn't quite find it in the end. Just as Shenkman was looking for a chase himself, and that is a bit
30 left.
against the type of rallies we've seen recently, as he just kind of floats that down the middle into a dead-on. You think in general, Jamie needs to be winning that dead-on count if he's going to have success in this match.
And chase worse than 6. You chase.
Just have a quick look. So, no, not that one. My apologies. Not that particular shot. Yeah. So Douglas has to be winning those dead-on counts. That's where he is looking the strongest. Playing that manual dead-on.
30 left.
Yes, Shenkman will frame a lot of them, so they won't
Second gallery. Hazard chase.
add to that count particularly. But if he's not getting a lot of points from that shot, then
Hazard 7.
the question is, where is he going to be getting points from?
Fault.
Hazard chase now called fault on the roof.
$15.30. Chase worse than 6.
So putting that into the side galleries, wins the hazard chase, following up by a worse than 6 chase now.
$40.15. $30.40.
Shenkman
Sure, no, go.
can't afford to let serves like that loose onto the back penthouse. Anything loose, whether it's a serve or during the rally, Douglas is looking to destroy.
And And game. 3 games all. First set.
At the moment, Douglas's radar looks about half a foot too high. He's got a lot of balls onto those top 2 planks of the penthouse in the last few games. Just needs to drag them a little bit lower.
Oh.
See if he's up on the penthouse, then Shenkman is right in the rally. If he is below the level of the dead on, still advantage Shenkman, but just a little bit less so. As we saw from that inset shot there, not quite getting the spot on accuracy that he needs just yet.
Out of court. 40 left.
It's gone up into the beams and out. To the way this match has progressed so far. In the first 3 games, Shenkman was looking shaky, but since then he has stabilised and is really putting pressure onto that Douglas force right now.
It's worse than 4, 15, 40.
Shenkman serving that railroad. The idea there is try and get that ball nice and tight onto the battery wall. Just makes it that little bit harder to force. We see some people who are able to force from anywhere in the court. Notably, I would say Rob Fay playing the force from a returning railroad. It's a particularly
40,
special sight to see.
Worse than 4.
So worse than 4 is the chase.
30, 40.
So Shenkman was up 40 love in this particular game. Chance for Douglas to bring it back to juice with the serve. That is unfortunate. That's just come down
Game. 4 games
with
to 3.
the back wall.
Left. Chase the second gallery. 15 left. And the last gallery.
So this is just the ball that got Douglas stuck in the corner. Unfortunate because he looked like he had the advantage in the rally, and sometimes real tennis is just cruel. There's not much he can do about that. Got the first penthouse ball not quite on the grill, and then second follow-up. Just a little bit unfortunate there.
15 love, server leads, chase the second gallery.
Douglas needs to be finishing points faster than that if he's going to have a
30
chance of
love,
beating
chase
Shenkman
the
today.
last gallop.
Just on that first ball, it's not good enough. Shenkman will put the pressure straight on Douglas.
Sorry about that. 15:30. $40.15. Well,
Not quite getting to that service line on the side penthouse, called fault. And Robinson right underneath the net, listening out for that particular one.
chase, nearly a yard worse than the last gallery. 40.15.
So I want to bring up, just to say some of the history of this particular event. This is a British amateur singles. Shenkman is the defending champion. He won it in 2023 against Jamie Giddens. Previous to him, champions between 2018 and 2022 were Ed Kay and Jamie Douglas with 2 championships each. And that epic rivalry we have seen between Douglas and Kay, both British amateur
Receiver leads, chase nearly
and
a
the
yard
MCC
worse
gold
than the last
racket
gallop.
over the last half a decade or so. Ed Kay not playing in this particular event. And now it is 5-3
Game, 5 games to 3.
to Rob
First
Shenkman.
set.
He was 3 love down and has built a solid game plan now. So before the Douglas K duels, we had 4 years of duels between Mathieu Salon from France and Conor Medlow, with them taking 2 titles each.
Stroke. 30 left. Not up, 15:30.
That ball called not up. Just so much cut, not getting really more than an inch off the ground as it comes off that back wall. And much the same again there.
30 all.
You see with the way that Douglas plays, when he really goes for it, he can get so much of that backspin on the ball.
Chase the second gallery. 30 all. Sorry, time please. Thank you. 30 all. .40-30, chase the second gallery.
So if you go looking much farther back in the record books, one name starts to dominate, and that is the name of Julian Snow. Won his first British amateur singles in 1987 and his last in 2012. So a 30-year career at the top of the amateur game in the
40-30
UK.
receiver, chase the second gallery.
We'll be very happy to see this younger crop of players coming through and challenging for that title now.
First serve, please.
Douglas not quite ready to receive the serve. Just
First
someone
serve, please. Second gallery.
making a bit of movement in the dead on, disrupting Douglas from receiving that ball. So first serve here, second gallery chase. As Shenkman finds the grill, great time to hit that particular target. Yeah, someone wandering the dead on's a bit like someone walking behind the sight screen at a cricket match. Oh, that just floats in from Douglas. Yeah, it's one of the slower dead-ons he's hit so far.
And that's good.
So the first game to Douglas for first game in 6 games. Just breaking that flow a little bit. Crucial time to do it too.
Yep, just got it. 15 love. all.
That ball's so tricky to read off the timbre. Basically got no time at all to work out how much spin it's taken up from hitting that wall.
Well, time.
You've got to play it within a foot of the wall, really, given the amount of bounce that it has on it. Well executed shot from Shenkman.
Chase, better than the second gallery, 30-15. And better than 3, 2 chases, 30-15.
Yeah, other names on that honours board. If you go back before Julian Snow, you see Alan Lovell a bit, and then 20 years of dominance from Howard Angus. Angus is the last amateur player
Receiver, Chase, better than the second gallery.
to win the World Championships. Julian Snow was the last amateur player to challenge for the World Championships.
Chase, better than
And
3.
the first set point comes up now to Robert Shenkman. So better than 3, so not particularly easy.
30-40.
And the pressure of that chase off the timbre, very hard to play a better than 3 off the timbre. Okay, so you need to get the weighting just right. Anything wrong will disrupt your point. Set point again. And that ball beautifully floated down the line by Jamie Douglas.
advantage. And game.
So Douglas saves the 2 set points.
5 games all. First set.
Brings it to a 5-all game here in the first set. Just that little bit of scoreboard pressure getting to Rob Shenkman. Douglas has held his nerve so far. He has the serve going into the 5-all game.
Stroke.
And that's unlucky. That's just hit him on the way back down off the bando. That's not what he needed at this point in time. Bit of luck goes Shenkman's way.
all. $30-15.
It's the time where Shenkman would really love a chase, but it's very risky to risk points to try and obtain chases. Again, the fine margins of real tennis. That ball has hit underside of the grill bando, just inches away and smacked into the net.
That's the worst in the second. 30 all.
What a great point by Jamie Douglas. He has done amazingly well with that. Running all the way up the court. Just being able to cover everything really. So he now has set point going his way. Hazard chase.
40-30. Receiver leads. Hazard chase. Oh, sorry, Jen. Hazard worse than the second down.
Just wait for Marker Reynolds to collect that ball. So we are set point the other way. Hazard chase now. All those galleries are open. And he smacks it onto the back wall.
Games to 5.
That does enough to win the set. 6-5.
Second set.
And that hazard chase means
Love
that
it.
any double bounce on the service end of the court will win you the point.
All. Not up. Not up, and a hazard chase, half a yard, 15 all.
Robert Shenkman has been
13,
absolutely
15.
on target with that grill this afternoon. Any chance he's gotten, he has been aiming at that white square.
40-15, hazard chase, half the yard.
So let's look at the stats from that first set. 43 minutes to complete it, and 1 point in it to the advantage of Shenkman, but the set goes the way of Jamie Douglas. 5 dead-ons in that set to Douglas, 5 grills to Shenkman. And usually when you see that serves one less than 50%, that's a general indication that there is a lot of forcing going on
Hazard.
in the match. So hazard chase now. And Shenkman just pounding his way
First game in the second
in
set.
towards those galleries. Probably the other side of the court was open. Jamie was up at last gallery trying to defend, but gets that second gallery in the end.
Chase the last gallery.
I think one of the
Last game.
characteristics of both of these players is that they are both fighters. Just because they're down a set or down within a set doesn't mean they're going to be giving up easily. As we have seen with Douglas in that first set. 3-love up, 5-3 down, takes it 6-5.
And the second gallery, 2 chases, 30-15.
I think we're seeing a little bit from Shenkman there is he's trying to force his way into those galleries or into Jamie's backhand side. Which is probably, given the serves that he's receiving, a little bit of a defensive type play. I think if he's looking to be a little bit more aggressive, then he would be trying to attack that with cut into the forehand corner, trying to win the point straight away, but very happy just to try and work his way into a chase, into a gallery chase, or get that better ball after he plays that backhand shot.
Getting some drugs. 30-15. Receiver leads, chase
Mark
the
Benenson
last
just
gallery.
commenting on Jamie's food intake there. Such as the dry humour of our marker today.
(40-15) chase the second gallery.
That's the mirror image of the shot that we saw winning that previous set. If you hit any of those hazard chases when you're playing off a chase, you win the point.
Deuce.
That shot there, exactly why Shenkman is playing the defensive game. He will get the error eventually,
Advantage.
according to his game plan.
Oh. And game. First game, second set. Sorry, one game all. Beg pardon, one game all. Forgive me. One game all. Second gallery, no strokes. And better than second gallery. No strokes.
Really seeing Douglas go for that aggressive game again. Here's some of those forces from a few moments ago. I said earlier, if Douglas is winning that dead-on count, it means he is on one today. Just able to hit just that better ball.
Sorry, I'll forget to write it down. No strokes. The first chase is the second gallery.
So 2 chases around second gallery here. This is the kind of point where you tend to see a lot of pushing into the corners rather than big hits. And that is fabulous stuff from
15 love.
Jamie
Chase
Douglas.
better than the second gallery. Uh-huh. $15 all.
Again, that service points one stat. Less than 50% for both players. It's not what you normally see in this game.
15.
Normally that number is up around about 55, 56%. Just means it's a little bit harder to be down that serving end at the moment, just with the pace of the ball.
First gallery, thank you. 30-15.
Just with the pace of the ball at the moment just means that it's just a little bit harder to utilise the timbre to your advantage.
Only got one.
Just broken string there from Jamie Douglas. He will take his spare racket. Watch some replays from that grill earlier on. Great bowling, great work in the air from
Even if it's just a repair.
former Canterbury varsity player.
40-15. Chase the first gallery.
First gallery chase now.
Well.
And that bubble was just a little bit too weak, a little bit too predictable in the way that it rolled around. Too easy to pick up on that great cut volley that Douglas has.
And game, 2 games to 1.
Shenkman serving that underarm twist kind of prevents that cut volley from happening. It just does open up. If it's not, it's too long, it opens up that main wall force.
Chase better than half a yard.
Yeah, so if Shenkman's underarm twist goes onto the back wall, it's just a little bit easier for Douglas to force, just with the ball going in the same direction as the shot you're trying to hit.
Two chases.
Sounds good, come on.
Where that serve is just that little bit shorter, it just means that there isn't as much room to swing your racket through the ball. You just have to play this
Chase
back of the
half
ball
a
cut
yard,
shot.
chase 2 and 3, no strokes.
Is what Shenkman would prefer to receive at the moment. And then secondly, his other serve that he's been doing plenty at this match, that railroad.
Chase better than half a yard, first chase,
Looking
no
to keep
strokes.
that tight onto the sidewall. So better than half a yard chase. Here, one thing for it, and that's the dead on. And that misses low.
15 love server, chase 2 and 3. $30 love. $40 love.
Whereas Douglas is serving mostly those stiff arm sidewalls, which is very much his characteristic type of serve.
Chase the first gallery, 40 love.
It's not that that serve is targeting a particular weakness of Shenkman's, it's just more that that's what he serves. And will serve that unless there is something some other drastic reason to serve something else. The reason why he's got that stiff arm, just knows exactly where that ball is going to be after every
40
ball
love,
toss.
receiver leads, chase the first gallery.
Even though it does look a little bit funny. So first gallery the chase now.
Well, thank you. $15.40.
Shenkman really using T&RA there to his advantage, just getting that little clip off the main wall just before it, just makes that angle so difficult to read for Douglas. So I wouldn't mind seeing Shenkman play that shot underneath the winning gallery a bit more, whether it's off the post as we saw there, or if it's straight. I think
Advantage.
there's a little bit of an opening in Douglas's technique for balls on the forehand side, which is just kind of dying behind where he's standing. And on that forehand side, sorry, on the receiving end,
And that's game.
it's just a little bit further up the court, which
3
kind of
games to 1.
exposes
Second set.
that particular shot more.
Fifteen love. All.
It's great width there from Douglas, just using that boast, making the ball come across Shenkman. Needs to be playing that up the court a little bit more.
That's
exactly the kind of shot or point that Rob needs. Those long points, just interrogating and interrogating
40-30.
Douglas's technique.
Chase, worse than 2. 40-30.
I think earlier on I said that one of the big questions of the match will be how can Shenkman neuter Douglas's big force, main wall force. I think he's doing pretty well at it so far, playing volleys like we see it just there, as well as his serving has really restricted Douglas. He has just waited until those moments where he can attack that grill.
40-30 server lead, hazard chase worse than 2. Hazard chase.
So hazard chase now.
Juice.
And that is a bit of a reminder of how Douglas finished that first set. It's not a shot you see Shenkman play a lot. I think he's just a little bit frustrated as to the way that first set
Juice,
ended.
the last gallery. Juice. Time, please.
Yeah, so I think if you take out the first 3 games of the match where Shenkman was a bit all at sea, that's kind of what's caused him to lose that first set, has been really able to consistently attack that, or defend against that, rather, that forcing shot. We have 2 chases now. Chases of last gallery and a yard, so you would imagine that would favour Shenkman, giving pretty good odds for taking this particular game.
Juice, chase. The last gallery.
So last gallery is the chase. Can keep it tight. Serve is very loose. That shot is loose too.
Advantage, chase, a yard.
Yeah, 3 loose shots there from Shenkman. Yeah, he likes to fight back into it, but you've got to play shots better than that. And that one is wide of the dead on.
Deuce.
Back to deuce, second time.
Deuce 5 and 6. Deuce.
Missed his targets on a couple of occasions there, Rob Shenkman. A little bit of a lucky bounce, gets the error in the end. Just as we have a look at that point again. Yeah, so just missed a few targets, just a little bit high on the grill.
Advantage receiver, chase 5 and 6.
A little bit deep on the winning gallery. But the error eventually coming. That service point one has gone into the black for the first time for Shenkman.
And that's game 4 games to 1, second set.
Really, Shenkman has basically just had 2 5-minute lapses across the course of this match. This is why he's a set down.
15 up.
But the remainder of the match has been in his favour. And that one, as Douglas was trying to leave that for a chase, and not for the first time, it's struck him on the back foot.
Good. Fault. Sorry, second serve.
Not sure what the mark is trying to call there. So we do have a second serve here. It is 15-all.
$30-15.
Douglas is catching up to Shenkman on that grill count. Shenkman did have a 5-2 lead earlier on. Just lost his accuracy a little bit on the grill in recent times.
So it's the last gallery.
Shenkman very happy to play for those galleries at the moment. See that attacking them kind of all day long, really. And that one kind of jumped up on Douglas a little bit. Ball just took a little bit of a bounce off a poor seam. Just wasn't quite where he was expecting it to be.
And better than the last gallery.
So this point is the one here. So Douglas tries to leave this ball for a chase. You takes a little bit of a kick off the sidewall there. Just not quite where he's expected to be. He's leant forward like he's playing a forward defensive, and it's just struck him on the ankle. Again, he's trying to leave that for a chase, and it's just not worked out. So, 2 chases here for Shenkman. Again, he's been playing for this last gallery trace
30 all chase the last
most
gallery.
of the day. So we'll see how he plays it now.
.40-30 chase better than the last gallop.
Again, that's still the point that he likes to play, Shenkman. Just not quite able to get that retrieving. That is an excellent
Lost the
serve.
chase, juice.
Really able to keep it tight into that corner.
Chase has the line, juice. Advantage, has the chase
We'll go
line.
from that bad serve from Shenkman just to have a look at this was earlier in the game. The great serve here, just can't get any whip on it. Douglas not able to win the chase off of it. This is what he has been trying to do with the serve all afternoon. Just get perfect length on it.
Advantage server, Hazard chase the line, Hazard.
So now we've got Hazard the line. Again, all galleries open for both players here.
Good up. And game. 2 games to 4.
Despite the fact that he's leading in this set, you feel a little bit of pressure building on Shenkman here.
15 left.
He's just not quite playing the shots that he would normally be playing, just lost a little bit of that level-headedness. Just because he knows it is so important for him to win back this particular set. It would be a mammoth task to try and win from 2 sets down.
Stroke. 50 all.
I mean, one thing that I'd love to see in real tennis,
Chase.
that goes out for a chase.
Yard better than the second gallery, 15 all.
In cricket, you have a beehive map where it shows where all the balls pitched, both on the pitch or against the batter. I'd love to see something similar, but with targets hitting at the grill, just so you can get a sense of the spread.
And more than the yard worse than the last gallery. 15 all.
The spread of shots and just how accurate or otherwise the shots at that grill corner are. Technology for doing that is quite a way away, but it would be fascinating to see. Just as the players all now definitely using their personal statistics to try and
50
inform
all.
their game
First chase is a yard better than the second gallery.
and improve the way they play. So 2 mid-court chases now. That was an excellent pickup
2015 chase more than a
by
yard worse than the
Shenkman,
last gallery.
but not quite got enough pace on it. Douglas running forward to take that dead on.
All.
And a big shout there from Rob Shenkman. He knows how crucial this particular game is in the context of this match. Really getting fired up now. She's gone through a few struggles in the last few minutes. Just trying to pump himself up and find that energy, find that focus, find that belief. Get that crowd behind him.
Advantage.
I have to say it's been a relatively fair crowd. Sometimes you see it where you've got one home player, that the crowd can be a bit one-sided, but in this particular match, as he finds that grill
Game,
seemingly
5
from
games to 2.
nowhere. And a big shout of celebration there.
Chase worse than the last gallery. No strokes.
Every
15
time
up.
this match, Shenkman has started to look like he is ahead. Douglas will throw in a few of those main rule dead-ons. Just remind him he's still in it.
Chase 5 and 6, worse than the last gallery. And chase 5 and 6, 15 up.
Douglas is so good at just keeping that level head and playing the ball as it is required. Doesn't really get too fussed by the scoreboard, as we saw in that first set. This one just coming into that main wall dead on yet again.
15 love, chase worse than the last gallery.
Great stuff there from Shenkman and Douglas. The standard of tennis has been so high this afternoon. We are witnessing a great spectacle.
All chase 5 and 6. So close the ball. 30-15.
Douglas always seems to be in the point, even as much pressure as Shenkman is putting him under. He's always in it.
And game.
Takes the game.
3 games to 5. Second set.
Remember that Shenkman was up 5-3 in the first set and lost it. Douglas had the resolve in the end.
Not up. Chase 1 and 2, no strokes.
Can Shenkman find a way out from here, close out the set, or will Douglas come through yet again?
Oh.
We're starting to see a few of those high serves from Douglas now. That I think is not a bad call, really.
15 left.
I think sometimes with that stiff arm sidewall that he serves, just tends to sit off the back just a little bit too easy for Shenkman. And kind of plays into the game that he wants by pushing it around the corners.
30 left. And second gallery, 2 chases. 30 left. 1 and 2, and second gallery.
I think sometimes the Shenkman, he's so keen to look for that gallery ball or that shot into the backhand side. You can sometimes give up a little bit playing it, the more aggressive shot into the forehand corner, trying to finish the point that way. Just then puts himself under a bit of extra pressure to try and find that angle, which is see him sometimes making those unforced
Ready,
errors.
love receiver. First chase is 1 and 2.
So chase of 1 and 2 now.
Oh. Love chase the second gallery.
I think on that 1 and 2 chase, Shenkman would have it wrapped up, but Douglas still manages to find the length.
And that's game. 4 games to 5, second set.
And once again, Shenkman is feeling that scoreboard pressure. He let the first set slip. Will he let the second one slip?
Chase. More than the odd worse than the last gallery.
A few unforced errors creeping in, a few looser serves.
Chase the last gallery, 2 chases.
All he needs to do is string those 4 points together. It sounds simple, but sometimes it can be anything but. So once again, you are watching the British Amateur Final of the singles here from the Queen's Club. Remember, this is a best of 5 set match, just to have, as all of the matches have been this week.
No strokes. Chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery.
So more than a yard worse than last gallery is the chase.
love, chase the last gallery.
Just on that first ball, I think that Shenkman hit that a little bit too straight. I think a fraction wider, and Douglas is under a lot more pressure. It's up and out of court.
30 love.
If Shenkman takes this, we might just see a big celebration. He's got a little bit of frustration pent up in him at the moment. And
40 love.
a little bit of an unfortunate way to bring up the set point. Shenkman won't mind in the end. It is the result that he wanted. Now 3 set points to level up the match.
Not up. Jeez, 3 and 4, 40 love.
That's an excellent angle there into that backhand corner from Shenkman. Bit too much pace to play it on the full. And just enough angle on it such that Douglas can't cover it off the back wall either. So it is still set point with an advantageous chase for Shenkman.
40 love, server leads, chase 3 and 4.
He will let that go. That will lose the chase as he tries to...
And that's the set, 1 set all. 3rd set.
Tries to get some encouragement from the crowd there.
A lot of movement going on.
Just as some people are shuffling around in the dead on, just like moving behind the sight screen at the cricket. Please wait till the change of ends, or the change of overs.
Okay, 1 set all. Time please. Okay, level.
So we'll be underway now into the 3rd set.
Not up. Chase 4, no strokes.
Mind you, if there is movement in the dead on, it does mean that there is a crowd in the dead on, which we like to see here at the British Amateur.
Up.
Some of the early stages in the tournament particularly can get a little bit quiet in terms of the crowd.
Chase better than 3, 2 chases.
Still not happy there, Shenkman. I think he's probably playing better than he's giving himself credit for in this particular match. I think he feels like he's under a lot of pressure, but his strike play has actually been all right.
Jesus, did I need that set? I was shaking, I was shaking.
15 love, receiver leads. Chase 4. First chase, 4.
So you can hear Shenkman commenting, yeah, he needs that shot. He was feeling shaky. That's exactly what we've been saying up here in the commentary. But to my eye, those shakes look a little bit self-inflicted. I don't think that Douglas has played any really a whole lot better or worse. He's just been that consistent the whole way through. What a shot from Rob Shenkman. Just out of nowhere, launches himself at the ball. lines dead on. Not too many of those for Shenkman this particular match.
Stroke. 40-15.
And that's just come off the penthouse.
And that's the
one
first game of the
too
third
many
set.
bouncers for
1 love.
Jamie Douglas. Just not able to get a good enough read on it.
That's actually an issue. There's not too much we can do about it.
Just an issue with putting some of the cables for one of the cameras away. That camera isn't in use, so I don't mind.
Sorry, Kevin, isn't that 15 love? Thank you. 15 love? That's in the dead on. Yeah. No chases. 15 love.
Back underway.
Oh. All. Chase the last gallery, 15 all.
Again, Shenkman's not too happy with himself there. A very difficult ball to read, and he's being a very harsh critic of himself. Wants to be up, love and one at this point, really. The way that he's carrying on is kind of looks like what his expectation is. And at that one, Douglas just jams along the battery wall and rolls along the ledge of the galleries. Let's have a look at some of the statistics from the first set again. 44 minutes for the set. Much better serves one statistic from both players. I think we've seen that forcing come out of the game a little bit across the course of that set.
Gallery.
In the end, a bit more comfortably taken for Shenkman there. So, last gallery is the chase.
Well.
Very close to being a fault going into that hazard gallery on the bowl serve.
lost the chase.
That one dribbles over. The chase was last gallery. Again, I really think that Shenkman could do more targeting that particular angle onto Douglas's forehand.
Oh.
Douglas plays it a little bit too far back in his stance. Tries to come down with that heavy cut, and it doesn't always work out for him.
Deuce.
So Shenkman has clawed his way back into deuce in this particular game.
Not up. Deuce, one chase.
And Shenkman takes advantage of that
Advantage, chase 3 and 4.
relatively straightforward feed, it turned out, off that back wall to hammer yet another grill. Been a bit of penthouse ball from both players in the last little bit. Shenkman just looking a little bit nervous. Douglas not quite able to keep that consistency. Notwithstanding, we have seen some fantastic quality tennis here this afternoon.
One love.
I think
Advantage, chase 3 and 4.
remembering back to this event 12 months ago,
And game. 2 games to love.
the key shot that that Shenkman was playing against Jamie Giddens that day was his backhand volley, defending the dead-on. Today, I think the shot that he has played consistently well has been digging out his backhand from the corner. Some difficult lob volleys for Douglas. And the drive comes eventually. And that one just floats in as well.
15 love.
Just in that point, it was amazing just how the advantage within the point just slowly, you could see it shifting. And eventually just got there in the end.
30 love. $15.30.
I think someone, again, might need to remind Shenkman that he's actually winning this game at the moment. He's a very harsh critic on himself.
Chase worse than the second gallery. 15.30.
Just feeling like he needs to be doing that little bit extra just to make the game a bit more comfortable. As we've seen both players in this particular set now abandoning those underarm twist type serves. Both of them opting for a few more bobbles. And it's shots like that which make me say that Douglas reminds me of Chris Chapman. Just being able to play that
your game.
extreme cut on the boast. It's just very reminiscent of what Chapman would do. As we hear Shenkman near the mic saying, play your game, just getting sucked into Douglas's game a little bit, perhaps he feels. See some excellent court coverage by Douglas just before that final ball floated into the dead on.
40-30 server, chase worse than the second gallery.
So this now for a 3-love lead. And that is a fantastic shot by Rob Shenkman, really cutting off the angle.
Game, 3 games to love.
Just came across it.
Chase, on the yard worse than the last gallery, no
Perfect
strokes.
volley.
Oh. Thank you.
See a replay of that one next time we get a chance to, as it was a fantastic shot.
And chase the last gallery. 2 chases.
Yeah, so let's have a look at that shot by Shenkman. Just the way that he comes across, reads that angle, and gets the perfect weight on that volley. So if he leaves that ball for the back wall, there's so much uncertainty about which corner it hits first. Does it hit the side wall first, or does it hit the back wall first? A lot of cut coming onto it too makes it so much harder to read. The spin
No strokes, chase
between
more
those
than the
two
yard
walls
worse than
is
the last
quite
gallery.
different. Instead, it just gets that perfect weight volley over the net.
Love, chase the last gallery.
So I've been saying one of the things to be watching is that dead on count, and that Douglas needs that dead on count to be, he needs to be winning that. He is currently winning that, but Shenkman is catching up at an alarming rate.
$30-15.
I think for Douglas, he needs to be probably 2-1 really on that particular number.
30 all. Chase, better than the second gallery, 30 all.
Again, Shenkman's still frustrated with himself
And
for
second
his
gallery, 2 chases.
shot
30.
selection. And again, someone really needs to remind him that he is 3-love up. And really, you'd think the strongest he's been looking at this whole match now. And yet, somewhere, some of those mental demons are just getting in the way a little bit.
30 all, Chase, better than the
Perhaps
second
it's
gallery.
the pressure of being in a final. Perhaps it's just knowing that Douglas is a fighter and a competitor, and it isn't over until that final ball is struck.
40-30. Chase the second gallery.
It's a great cut volley there from Douglas. Getting that perfect length on it. So easy to hit that cut volley long. If Shenkman could have every point be like that for the rest of the match, he will be very happy. That's how he wants to play. So he wants to be defending that force, working his way back into the point, and then just moving Douglas around the court too much, and eventually finding the error.
Advantage. Chase half the yard worse than the last gallery. Advantage.
So you are watching the British Amateur Singles live here from the Queen's Club. This is the final of the 2024 event. We will have plenty more tennis coming your way around the world in the next few months. Attention of the real tennis world turns first to Philadelphia for the US Open,
Half a yard worse than the last gallery.
which is starting the qualifying rounds on Tuesday. All that action live on the US CTA YouTube channel, so go over there and subscribe there not to miss a thing.
Juice. Advantage.
Few apologies there from Douglas, from Shenkman to Douglas. So yeah, the US Open starting very shortly in
Advantage.
Philadelphia. Shenkman is the only one of the players here today in this tournament who is playing in both.
Chase. Better than the second gallery. Advantage.
Some other preparation tournaments for the amateurs is currently going on in Tuxedo, the Tuxedo Gold Racket. If you're in Tuxedo, would love to hear from you. How is that gold racket coming along this year? Some of the likes of Freddie Bristow looking pretty strong in that. He's going into qualifying for the US Open shortly as well.
Advantage server. Chase. Better than the second gallery. One foul.
And then in March, Rob Shenkman is off to the Bathurst down in Melbourne, which will be followed by the Australian Ladies Open. And you can hear the frustration in Shenkman from that. He's just not happy with his shot selection. That's when he tends to be the most vocal, is if he thinks he's playing the wrong shot.
Better than the door. No strokes. Yeah, that's what I meant. Juice. Yeah. No difference.
to know that Shenkman is aware of what the score is.
Advantage, Chase, better than the door.
So then the next big tennis event in the UK after the British Ladies Open at the start of April will be the IRTPA Super League. It's a new event on the calendar this year. That will be held right here at the Queen's Club. It will feature the top 16 available players in the UK in both singles and doubles in a team format. And that promises to be an excellent event and is open to all to come and watch if you're playing National League this year.
Advantage server, Chase, better than the door.
To come down and see what the top division looks like. So, Chase now better than the door.
Game. 1 game to 3.
Douglas unlucky that went into hazard second. If it had gone into the winning gallery, there would have been an absolute huge round of applause for that particular shot.
Hazard second. And thoughts? 40 love has the second gallery.
So we'll just see that point from a few moments ago.
Were you watching?
Just with
Sorry. Yeah, no.
a volley from Douglas.
When I release one anyway.
Yeah, no, sorry. No. I don't know if I'm calling it. I'm sure you are. Stood here.
It's quite to see actually.
Shenkman still very, he's not 100% mentally with it at the moment. I think when he's the most focused,
The second gallery.
you'll see him being very quiet, not so chatty. Part of it is the fact this match has now ticked over the 2-hour mark. Well, what a fantastic point we've just seen there. Great
That's game,
play
full
from
games to
Shenkman,
one.
covering
Third set.
the back of the court and finding the grill in the end. He now has
Chase.
a
Better than the second
4-game to 1 lead. Yeah, 2 hours in now for Shenkman. That side-to-side style might just be wearing out a bit. Those legs starting to get heavy. All those hours in the gym. Will they pay off?
15 all. Better than the second.
Just needs to find a way just to recalibrate a little bit here.
30-15.
Douglas has stayed as stoic as he has been throughout this entire match.
Chase. Better than the second gallery.
Again, he's not ridden the same highs and lows that Shenkman has Douglas. Just consistently playing his game. Not worried about any antics that are going on down the other end. And he looks as fresh as he did 2 hours ago.
40-15 server, Chase, better than the second gather.
Again, because it's the chase and playing up that particular ball, Shenkman targeting Douglas's forehand a bit there. I really would like to see a little bit more thorough interrogation of that ground stroke forehand.
And that's game. 2 games to 4.
I think there are weaknesses there. You do run the risk, though, of giving away a few freer shots on the timbre and the grill.
Chase the last gallery.
But I think if you get that
No
right
stress.
angle on it, there's some success to be had.
Up.
Yeah, just targeting that forehand around about, hitting the wall around about 3 and 4. 3 and 4 to 4.
All.
Have a look at that dead on count now. Shenkman is really climbing back up in it.
Not up, better than 3. Last gallery and better than 3, 15 all.
I've been saying to watch that particular statistic as the match progresses. Douglas really needs to be winning that, and he isn't yet. Shenkman has so far found a way to nullify that main wall force, both by serving and by some excellent defensive volleying.
15 all, Chase the last gallery.
Shenkman had entirely the advantage in that rally. And these mental demons have just crept into his game, just ruining that point for him. Winning the chase, it is now 40-15, and
that's game. 3 games to 4.
Shenkman has let Douglas right back into this match.
Oh. Out of course. 15 love.
Those mental demons just proving a little bit too strong at the moment for Shenkman. How many balls have we seen this high on the grill so far today? That was an incredible get by Jamie Douglas.
15 all.
Ultimately, he doesn't end up with the point.
30-15.
But he played it from well behind his back.
Chase the last gallery.
As that one just
30-15.
tips up into the last gallery. Shenkman looking to pound that towards that timbre area. Just being able to string a few points together here, Shenkman gets up to that 4-3 lead. Sorry, chances for 5. Let me start that again. Points now for 5-3 for Shenkman. Just as we see some highlights of some of the action earlier.
40-15 receiver. Chase the last gallery.
That particular get is incredible. Just how well the players read the court and read the balls. Back live. Last gallery chase here. And Douglas neatly slots that to the hazard galleries to win the chase. Big point now in the context of the match. So that ball called stroke. Douglas just getting the tip of his racket to that ball.
No strokes.
This is that stroke call from moments ago. You can see just with the tip of his racket hitting that ball. Great call by our marker, Ben Ronaldson, head professional here at the Queen's Club.
15 love.
Once again, Shenkman was up 5-3 in that first set. He was slipping in at that second set as well, just managed to hold on. How will he go about finishing this particular set?
40 love, chase 6.
So he has the 5-3 lead. Douglas 40 love, chance to bring it back to 5-4. So we just see that last point in a replay. And a fabulous finish there from Douglas.
40 love, chase 6.
And Shenkman has been fighting with himself this whole set now. And this is the moment where you need everything in that mind to be clear.
And game 4 games to 5.
Yeah, I wonder if on the probabilities there. It's not actually a terrible point to lose. He starts this particular game with the serve,
Chase worse than 3, no strokes.
which he immediately loses, so, or concedes a chase rather. On the probabilities, yeah, just trying to build up a bit of advantage at the service end as he's trying to find that final game for the set.
And Chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery. Worse than 3.
To which end he's
More than a yard worse, no strokes.
lost. He's lost 2 chases on the first 2 rallies of the set anyway, so it all comes to naught. It sounds like there's some great excitement going on next door on the West Court. This being one of the 5 2-court venues around the world. And sometimes you just hear a little bit of the sound.
No strokes, the first chase is
Coming
worse
through.
than 3.
From the other court. There's a tiny opening between the 2 courts, not nearly as bad as Prested or Melbourne in terms of the sound
50 love
isolation.
Chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery.
Prested in particular with a very echoey hole, very hard to hear the marker sometimes. That ball coming down very close to that back wall. Shenkman saying it boasted out, just probably the smarter shot, just to try and get out of trouble. So not the particular ball that you're looking to win the point on. So Douglas pulls level in that grill count now. Shenkman is looking to pull level in that dead-on count. So you would think from the styles of play that Douglas would be hitting more dead-ons and Shenkman more grills. And that self-talk has just picked up again from Shenkman in the last few points. And that one has cramped Douglas up for room. And I think for the 3rd or 4th time this match, just taking a stroke on the body.
Hazard 1 and 2, deuce.
Shenkman keen for that service end, if not to close out this game, then definitely to close out the 5-all game. Just leaving that hazard chase, who perhaps would have gone for that if the scoreboard pressure wasn't what it is.
And hazard better than 2. 2 chases.
2 hazard chases. So let's have a look. This is the ball that struck Giddens. Not quite got enough width on it. It jumps off the back wall a lot more than expecting. A bit more topspin on it. It just cramps him up. So deuce and 2 hazard chases. Shenkman will need to work hard to survive these if he is going to prevent
hazard chase 1 and 2. Hazard.
either a second deuce or a 5-all game. 5-all games can often be who's mentally stronger. At the moment, it looks like Douglas might be more mentally strong.
Thank you, sir.
So bobble serve, second serve on the hazard chase. And that is not a good shot from Robert Shenkman.
Advantage, hazard better than 2. hazard better than 2.
Just trying to do way too much with that shot.
Fault.
Please mind my microphone. Again, second serve bobble. That's somehow gone over.
I'm assuming that. Thank you. Busy getting out of the way. Juice. Chase worse than 6. Juice.
So much tension. Yeah, just couldn't seem to find a winner that whole point, and eventually it came. So let's have a look at so this was this was playing off the hazard chase before. Let's see, so that's hit. It's touched over the top of the net. It's hit the side of the hazard second gallery. So we might be able to get that from the other angle. No, we can't. It's hit the side of the hazard second gallery and not been returned. So correctly called as not up. So set point now to Shenkman. And so that one has just tipped over as well. The huge cry of no from Rob Shenkman. Absolutely nothing in it.
Advantage. Chase worse than the second gallery. Advantage.
So at that point here, this was playing off the chase. And he cannot believe it, Rob Shenkman. He cannot believe that that's not gone into the net. Just that frustration showing just from the other angle. It's just tipped over. Douglas himself can't believe it.
Chase worse than the second gallery.
So another set point here for Shenkman, worse than the second gallery. And that, I don't think it went into the grill, but it was.
6 games to 4.
It did enough to win the point.
Okay, time, please, sir.
And that Shenkman will take a short toilet break. And I think that is perhaps much needed just to calm himself down, because there was a lot of emotion going into that last game there. Let's have a look at that set point. Just not quite going in the grill, but it absolutely does enough. big celebration there from Shenkman. We'll see that from the other angle in just a second. He is absolutely ecstatic about that shot. There's so much has gone into, so much effort has gone into that set. So just while we wait for Shenkman to come back from his toilet break, Douglas is going to try and stay warm, and we will look to the statistics from that third set. So 47 minutes for the set. 36 points, 1 to 31. Shenkman getting the lion's share of dead-ons in that set. Something that hasn't really been part of his game in the first two sets. But he has done well to hold on to that set. He was struggling against himself more than Douglas, it seemed, at parts. He was cruising and then just started to doubt some of his decisions there. So it looks like the marker returning, and now we have Shenkman as well, just returning to the court.
Don't hit the line.
No, sorry. That's my job, don't take my job.
So we're just about to be underway in the fourth set. Already 2 hours and 15 minutes of play so far this match. It has been an absolute epic between these players. We have seen epics between these two players before. We saw them go to 5 sets in the MCC Gold Bracket final last year. So the immediate question in the game is, did that short break just to go to the toilet, has that helped Shenkman compose himself from the emotion
Less than 6.
of that
15-0.
conclusion to that set? It's a new set, you've got to build
13-15.
from scratch again. Get so worked up. It's just taken a bit of the main wall and gone the wrong way. So the points one statistic now, 108 to 101. Just shows how close this match has been. We've had plenty of tight matches at this year's British Amateur Championships.
40-30 chase, worse than 6.
It's been great to see the level of competition at play. So many matches going to 4 or 5 sets across the course of the championships this past week. An event where in the past perhaps you'll often see some quite severe drubbings, some harsh 6-love, 6-1, 6-1s or similar score lines.
Positive, 2 steps.
40-30 receiver leads chase, worse than 6.
So still taking his time here, Shenkman, just trying to calm down a little bit. Douglas is still as stoic as always. I think
has the first game.
Just in that last little lunge there, it looked really, for the first time, that some of the energy is getting to Douglas. It just looked like he had lead feet going after that last ball.
Stroke. I think. 15 love.
I think our marker today, Ben Robinson, has done an absolutely fantastic job. He's not missed a call. As Shenkman does draw level on that dead-on count.
Chase worse than the second gallery, 30 love.
I've been saying a couple of times this afternoon that Douglas really needs to be winning that count. He's also behind on that service points won across the course of the match. Given the way that he plays, you'd expect him to suppress Shenkman's
And the last gallery.
serve just a little bit more.
And the last gallery, 30.
So let's have a look at from just a few moments ago. This ball into the corner is the one that I say looked like Douglas has lead feet on. So Shenkman's still very mobile around the court.
30 love, Chase worse than the
Legs are just
second
looking
gallery.
a little bit tired. That lactic acid starting to build up for Jamie Douglas. And just didn't quite push off as well as he would have liked to in that last shot.
Chase the last
Just
gallery.
lost a little bit of that energy that he had right at the start.
And game. 2 love.
That short little break between sets looks so far as though it has served Rob Shenkman well. He's come out and taken the first 2 games
Worse than the last gallery, no strokes.
and seems to put a couple of those demons to bed.
Oh,
I think losing that first set will still be haunting him just a little bit.
Chase, worse than the last gallery, and Chase 34.
So with Shenkman now just 4 games away from taking the match, Douglas has to be really careful here not to really
No
let any more
strokes, Chase
slip.
worse than the last gallery.
I think perhaps 3 love would be a little bit too insurmountable, especially as that scoreboard pressure starts to build. That ball struck
15 love,
into the
Chase
hazard
better
galleries. That
than
wins the
4.
chase. No, better than 4. partly because it's playing that better than 4 chase.
15 all.
But that's the first time really we've seen a thorough interrogation of Douglas's forehand.
Chase the last gallery, 15 all.
I don't think that there was actually much venom in that forehand across that rally.
Thirty, 15. All. Sorry? We've played it already. Last gallery, I think. Sorry, yeah. Both chases last gallery. 30 all.
Sorry, just trying to get the scoreboard up to date. My apologies for that. Let's have a look at that better than 4 chase that Shenkman had forgotten about. So this is playing off that better than 4 chase. And still great coverage of the court by Robert Shenkman. Just reads it so well. I think to be fair to Douglas, he's still
30 all chase the last gallery.
getting those back at full stretch. There's still some athleticism in there, and that last one just a little bit too much. So 30 all last gallery, both chases is the score.
Chase the last gallery.
Douglas, I still think, is looking a lot more laboured than he was in that second and third set. Oh, and that's he's framed that. It's not quite gone over.
Juice.
He's not framed much so far this match, has Shenkman.
Advantage.
Yet another grill to the count. He has been racking those up all afternoon. When he's been hitting grills, it means that he has been working over the point, working over Douglas during the point, finding that advantage and getting that shot away to the grill. Again, you think by the way that he plays, he should be hitting a lot of them. And there is another
Advantage. And that is game, 3 games to love. 4th set.
Just apologies for the language there. And Shenkman just starting to
5 and 6, no strokes.
lose his cool just a touch.
$15 left. 15
It's all
all.
gone a bit tentative out there again. And someone should tell Shenkman that he's winning this match by a set and 3 games. He is not behaving like it.
30-15. One chase, 5 and 6. And more than a yard worse than the last gallery. 30-15, 5 and 6, and more than a yard worse than the last gallery.
So Shenkman definitely with the advantage now. Just needs to be able to push it home. It is within sight. But as he keeps climbing and climbing the hill towards victory, that hill will feel like it's getting steeper and steeper. He still needs to find those final few points.
30-15 receiver, chase, 5 and 6.
Douglas still has a lot of work to do to get back into this match now.
40-15, chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery.
This point crucial for Douglas. If he doesn't win this game, it's hard to find the path to victory, as that one slides up into hazard the line to win the chase.
And that's game. 4 games to love, 4th set.
So a 4-love lead now for Robert Shenkman. Just 2 games away from defending that British amateur singles title. That
15
force is actually a shot we've seen play a fair bit today. It's not something that's normally a big part of his repertoire. And he's generally been hitting those straighter forces, whereas Douglas has been typically hitting off the main wall. They haven't actually been hit with that much pace. It's just kind of a little bit of deception that's taken to get past the defences of Douglas. And that lunge looked tired to me. It looked very tired.
Takes more than the yard worse than the last gallery, 30 love.
To his credit, he's still throwing himself at it.
40 love, chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery.
That last shot reeked of confidence. Shenkman, who knows he only needs 5 more points. The set has gone a lot better for him. I think this is the scoreline he was perhaps a bit more hoping for.
40 love, chase more than a yard worse than the last gallery. More than a yard worse.
As that one just jams on the sidewall.
15-40.
Shouldn't worry him too much now.
Gallery. 30-40.
Just as we go through these last motions of the match, one feels. Just looks like Shenkman still has a bit more in the tank. has been a fantastic contest between these two, though. And it feels
30-40, chase the second gallery.
somewhat like a passing of the baton between one generation of amateurs to another.
Lost the chase. Juice. Andrew, you want to come through? Well,
So still Juice now.
Juice.
Douglas has fought back this game from 40 love down.
Last gallery, Juice.
And Shenkman has been absolutely relentless targeting those galleries at any opportunity so far this match.
Not up. Advantage, chase the last gallery.
That is a great shot by Douglas there. He has just got the perfect length on it, just rolling over the stroke line. We saw him string games in a row in that first set, but to come back from a 5-3 deficit. But still 4-game deficit is a big mountain. There's the first of them.
Game. 1 game to 4.
And those mental demons that we saw Shenkman with in that third set especially, they're going to resurface now.
15 love.
Can he keep his cool?
Stroke. 15 all.
In that particular shot, Shenkman was probably making earlier in the match as well. So signs of a bit of tiredness there.
30-15.
But that self-talk is back. He would be a great commentator on his own matches, Rob Shenkman. He was off balance there as he strikes that grill. That looked very tired. But just still manages to hit it.
Worse than 2, 30 all.
Yes, that grill shot before. He's off balance. And it's because he's taken 1 or 2 less steps in order to get to where the ball is, and that's that sign of that fatigue starting to build. So we'll see that particular rally I'm talking about then again here. Just managed to find the grill off that main wall. But watch Shenkman's feet here. That particular volley is pretty damn good. Just flat-footed as he comes off that ball off the penthouse. I think normally he's just a little bit more on his toes.
40-30 receiver, chase worse than 2.
So hard to maintain being on your toes just like that for the length of this match. That's a fantastic shot by Jamie Douglas into the winning gallery. Chase was worse than 2. He was put under pressure by Shenkman. That holds through in the end.
Advantage. Chase the last gallery. Advantage 7.
I don't think people in the crowd can appreciate how good those gets were.
Great round.
I don't think anyone's going to see. You can't see on the screen. It was like on better than half. I was ready to walk.
I think there's more claps for the last gallery than that.
The winning gallery finish was good as well.
You can hear the players just comparing notes on that last, those last points. It's good to see the camaraderie between them.
That's the last gallery.
Yeah.
It's always the last gallery.
It's always the last.
Advantage server, chase the last gallery.
So this to make it 5-1 to bring him 1 game from the championship. That is a little bit long. And he finds yet another grill.
And that's game. 5 games to 1.
Shenkman
Fourth
now
set.
1 game away. That grill count really tallying up now.
15 love. Up.
Well, what a fantastic point that was again. Really seen both players
30.
just really working every single ball. So much quality tennis here this afternoon at the Queen's Club. I think Douglas perhaps got a little bit of frame on that one, just tickled it really close to the wall down the line. Shenkman just expecting to get a bit more width on it. That's really a shot we haven't seen that much of in the last set and a half. Maybe even 2 sets. Expect Douglas to be hitting that a lot cleaner and a lot more often if he is playing well. And once again, Shenkman finds the grill.
40-30.
That brings up his first championship point. The defending champion looking to go back to back. Stayed in the court.
It's 5, 40-30.
We will go on just a little bit more. Utilizing all the space of this high roof here at Queen's Club. See some of the fantastic footwork by Shenkman. Really targeting that grill. Getting plenty in there.
40-30 receiver leads chase 5.
So again, championship point.
Not up.
And that is the first championship point saved for Jamie Douglas. Brings it back to deuce. Back to that good old stiff arm sidewall.
Advantage receiver.
All right, now another championship point emerges. Launches at the dead on, and Rob Shenkman takes the British amateur. He drops to his knees. Huge celebration there. A shake of hands between the competitors. What a match we've seen this afternoon. What that means to him, he has absolutely thrown.
6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 6-1. Does everyone want to come on court? I think we can have a presentation here, if that's all right.
Rob Shenkman has thrown absolutely everything at this match. And he has been walked away a worthy winner.
Mate, when you just walked in, I was like, as if you've only just walked in. See you next week or so, in 2 weeks.
Let's have a look at that
You're the
match
worst watcher
point
in the world.
again.
Just don't say anything, mate. That's alright.
Just as Shenkman finally finds, well, that's the point before rather. This here is the match point. Just gets that big high ball, demolishes it, and a big celebration. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Rob Shenkman defends his British amateur title. We will have a presentation on the court very shortly. I'm glad that you have been able to join us for this year's British Amateur. The tennis does not stop here. Once again, the attention of the tennis world will now turn to America, where we will have the US Open starting on Tuesday for the qualifying. It has been an absolute pleasure having you with us. We will quickly look at some of the match statistics. So 2 hours, 46 minutes for the match. 15 dead-ons to Rob Shenkman. Jamie Douglas not able to fully capitalise on that big weapon of his. 19 grills over the course of the match. That's an incredible number. And in the end, Shenkman just getting the advantage from both ends of the court. Presentations, I believe, today will be done by Fred Sato, the chairman of the Tennis and Rackets Association. It looks to be setting up in the galleries with the trophies, even though I believe there is a table set aside for him to use. Alongside him is Ronald Patterson, currently the chair of the tennis committee of the Tennis and Rackets Association, having taken over that position recently from Chris Vigrass. Also, you can see on the screen Simon Shenkman, father of Robert. Let's see if we can listen in. session should be beginning shortly. Not entirely sure what the hold-up is. Prize givers are currently in conversation with Jamie Douglas, the Valiant runner-up this year, Valiant finalist. Couldn't make it his 6th title. What amazing tennis we have seen from him over the years, and I'm sure there will be plenty more. Didn't enter the doubles tournament this year as his long-time doubles partner Peter Wright is not able to play. So we should have a presentation underway shortly. I'm not entirely sure what we are waiting for. We might be waiting for Ben Ronaldson to join us. Yes, here he comes.
I don't know. Normally you just shout out and wave at him. He's probably still up there. Right. Who's got a phone? Fine for the crowd. Who's got a phone? Who's got a phone? We've seen pictures. Right. So, right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you all very
Ronald
much
Patterson,
for supporting the
Tennis Committee Chair.
Amateur Championship. Brought to you by the T&RA, and thank you all for staying to the end. And we've seen fantastic tennis. I would say it was inspirational, except that a number of us on the court, me included, can't actually aspire to play like that. But it was fabulous tennis, and congratulations to both players. And particular congratulations to Rob Shenkman for winning it for a 2nd year running. So, first of all, for the runner-up, Son Luke. And now for our winner, Robert Shenkman.
I'll be given the floor by Ron, that's good. I was definitely, I don't know, pretty emotional after that. Came into it, like, training literally every week, and Jamie, I can't be nowhere near the athlete you are. I'm like 10 years younger, like, insane. Properly eye-opening that. And I heard you say in the first set, like, this is so much fun. At that point, I think I was actually hating it. But I'd like to think we can look back on that, just like Lords last year, and think like that was a great battle, and can't wait to do it again in April at Lords on your court. So looking forward to that. I think he's not here today, but his brother knocking around. Jamie Gibbons has organised this week expertly. Changed the format slightly, which I think has been fantastic for us guys going deeper in the week. Just like that little rest day here and there makes it so much easier making the trip here. And I think it's been good to see so many different names in the draw because James changed the format a little bit. And I think that's great because obviously there's not many opportunities for amateurs to get 5-set tennis. And yeah, I encourage everyone just to put their name down in the future. Because I think read recently that failure is not when you don't win, it's when you don't try. And I think in terms of amateur sport, that's all we can do. So as well, just thanks to Marcus, Jed, Ben, Brandon, Neil, and I think that's probably everyone. But yeah, exhausting week, but very rewarding, and can't wait to do it again next year, 2025. Thanks very much.
Right, now the trophy. To the winner of the trophy. There you go.
Can I have one with Jamie as well, please? Yep. Oh, Ron. I didn't say not one. Very good. Thank you.
So once again, Rob Shenkman is your British Amateur Champion for 2024. It has been an absolute pleasure having you with us this week. All the matches have been absolutely spectacular. Congratulations to all of the players. And once again, congratulations and thank you to all the markers who have worked this week. You have done an absolutely fantastic job. So from all of us here at the Queen's Club, thank you very much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. Do tune in to the USCTA YouTube channel for coverage of the US Open starting on Tuesday with the qualifiers. And we'll be back on the T&RA YouTube channel in April for the British Ladies Open from Seacourt. Once again, thank you from all of us. My name's been Ben Gatenbeek. It has been a pleasure, and we'll see you around the real tennis community sometime soon. Bye for now.